Welcome everyone. Today we are going to actually start a journey, an inspiring journey, so we can all pull along, get to understand more about what blockchain governance actually is, how that is crucial in the Cardano ecosystem, and how we can actually make good use or utilize or leverage on the opportunities that the governance process of Cardano actually presents. And I think I've actually gotten a series of calls from people that it's really good. Some master classes are organized so that the community gets to understand more about this governance process, because to really benefit so much from blockchain ecosystems, you must really understand the governance process that runs any particular ecosystem or any particular blockchain organization. And our focus is on a Cardano blockchain, which is a very impactful third generation blockchain or crypto that is doing so much. There has been huge announcements out there, and I think it will not be fair if maybe what we understand about Cardano is just Project Catalyst and its related activities, because there's more to Cardano than just Project Catalyst. Somebody is talking. If you can mute your microphone. Yeah, Sister Dinah, welcome. Yeah, I can just see your message. Yeah, welcome. Can we continue? It's like somebody's microphone was not muted, so there was...
Yes.
All right, okay. All right, so this is a brief profile of myself. Jeremiah Bani, founder for Center for Technology Education and Innovation Lab, in short CTEL, and also a Cardano ambassador, and also founder of a Cardano movement known as Cardano Africa Academy, where we exclusively organize Cardano related events, meetups, both physical and online, like we are having, just to teach grassroots members or local members in various African communities on how to fully understand the Cardano ecosystem and actually take advantage of the opportunities that it presents. All right, so this is our website, ctel.org. If you also want to check out what we do on YouTube, you can look for the handle Cardano Africa Academy. That's the name of the YouTube channel, and my contact is here as well. Then you can also follow me on X, that's Twitter, formerly Twitter, and the username there is at JerryBNJ. All right, so let's continue. And today, like I said, we'll be looking more into Cardano's governance process. And before we start with Cardano's governance process, we must first of all understand what blockchain governance is in the first place. And the reason why I am taking my time to organize this master class is that I want to take the community on a journey from understanding the basics to getting to know more about Cardano's governance process, and you see where you can actually fit and engage yourself in several activities. So this is day 1, and I think the number is not bad. I'm sure many people are not able to locate the link to join, but then it's embedded in the registration message that's sent to your email. You are able to actually see the link and follow to join. Yes, so once the community we are committed and keenly following or participating in these meetups, then inviting these big people to present in our meetups will become very easy. And as we have started, like I said, it will continue. And how many of you want to actually see the big people in Cardano coming on this platform to present for us or to teach us more about Cardano? If you would really like that, let me see an emoji flowing. Let's see emojis. Yeah. Okay. Great. Yeah. So, and that solely relies on us. Let's get active. Whatever that is taught, please take it seriously. If you have any questions, you let us know, so that in the end we know that we are understanding what we are learning, so that at the end of the day we become well abreast with the Cardano ecosystem, the governance process, and we can actually begin to participate profitably in any of the areas that interest us or suits us. All right, so welcome those who just joined. We have not gone far. I'm just giving an overview of the meeting we are having, so feel free, pay attention, and let's continue. Yes, so blockchain governance, that is shaping the future of decentralized networks. So governance basically has to do with what? Decentralized network. So you are all welcome to this comprehensive exploration of blockchain governance, where we will dive into the decision-making frameworks that ensure the sustainability, fairness, and security of blockchain networks, with a focus on Cardano's innovative approach. Like I said, we'll focus more on governance from a Cardano's perspective, because there's a lot happening on Cardano, and also as a Cardano ambassador, I would like to expose the African community to some of these concepts, and once we get to understand, it becomes easier participating fully. Okay, so understanding blockchain governance, and blockchain governance has to do with decision-making framework. It also ensures sustainability and also promotes what? Fairness and security. So when you hear about governance on the blockchain, it's just like our governance we have in real life, the democracy we have. And what is it all about? Democracy, that is decision making. So on the blockchain too, we have what? Governance, which the first item there is what? Decision making. So governance provides rules for blockchain networks to evolve and what? Adapt. Then blockchain governance also ensures what? Sustainability. That is, it maintains the network's long-term viability and relevance, because people will want to be part of a blockchain that actually takes their views into consideration. And so therefore, any blockchain like Cardano that gives maybe individuals the chance to also express their views, the chance to also vote on decisions, the chance to vote on which project should be funded, will actually retain these community members, because they feel involved in the process. And now the voting on Cardano, I think a minimum of 25 ADA, you'll be able to vote for Fan 13 proposals. So you realize that the decision-making process is smooth It will also ensure sustainability and also promotes what? Fairness and security. That is, governance mechanisms protect user interest and network what? Integrity. So nobody can just take a decision on the network without the concern of every stakeholder on the ecosystem. Yes, so there's fairness and what? Security. Okay, let's move to the next slide. Yeah, so 3 pillars of blockchain governance. So we have 3 main pillars of blockchain governance. And when we are talking about 3 main pillars, so these are the building blocks of blockchain governance. So the number 1 pillar is what? Rules. So on the blockchain, for governance to work, there must be what? Set of rules defining that governance process. So, and this set of rules are what? Protocols and guidelines for network operation and updates. So like I said, nobody will just take a decision on the blockchain without approval from community members. So these are actually the protocols and guidelines that will have to be followed before any change can occur on the blockchain or on chain. Then aside the rules, we also have what? Another pillar that is known as what? Community. And these are what? Stakeholders who participate in the decision making process. So you and I are all what? Part of the community of Cardano. And again, if you belong to any other ecosystem that has governance process running, you are part of that community, or you are part of that blockchain governance community, and you have the ability to express your views to be heard, either in writing or through voting, and which we have seen on Cardano every now and then. So we as community members are what? Stakeholders, and we participate in various decision making processes. So that is another pillar. So I want you to take note of these pillars of blockchain governance. Then the third item is technology. So that is the underlying infrastructure that enables what? Governance mechanisms. So for the rules to operate and for communities to participate in decision making, then now there must be what? A technology that will enable the rules to run on. There must be a technology that will make available a platform for stakeholders to actually engage with materials or resources to be able to make informed decisions. And at the end of the day, the technology actually binds these rules and community members together. All right. Are we okay up to this point? This is something I want us to. Are we okay up to this point? And if you have a question too and you can't talk, then you can write it in the chat as well. Abdul Aziz, you'll be my moderator for today's event, so that if there's a question there, you can draw my attention to it, or when I'm done, then I respond accordingly. All right, so let's continue. Okay, I really hope this doesn't. All right, so let's go. So importance of blockchain governance. So what we looked at previously was so let's take note of the differences. So the first aspect was understanding blockchain governance, and here we're made to understand that governance has to do with what? Decision making. There has to also be what? Some form of sustainability and some form of what? Promotion of fairness and security. Then we also looked at the 3 key pillars, which are rules, the community, and what? Technology. So these form the 3 pillars of what? Blockchain governance. Then we also have the importance of blockchain governance. So why blockchain governance? Blockchain governance is important because number one, it maintains trust. It maintains trust. So governance ensures that the network operates transparently and fairly, fostering user confidence. Yes, so let's say every activity that's taking place on the blockchain is clear and made known to everyone. You will realize that people will tend to gain trust in that blockchain because there's transparency. Nothing is being hidden. No decision is taken in the dark and superimposed on all community members. No. So that is one importance of what governance on a blockchain. Then there's also the preservation of what decentralization. That's the second point. Preserves decentralization. That is, it prevents centralization of power. That is by distributing decision-making authority among stakeholders. Exactly. So let me cite an example which most of us can relate to. So assuming, let's say, Project Catalyst was more of being centralized, where maybe when people put in proposals, some few people will sit somewhere to review those proposals and also vote on which proposal should be funded. Will we all be happy with that? No, I'm not sure we will be happy, because centralization actually has a lot of issues, because community members will hold the view that their voice is not relevant in the organization, and their decisions, the organization doesn't care about their decisions. So with governance that is participatory for all, there's this decentralization, so centralization is out of the game. Then we also have ensures collective decision. So governance mechanisms allow the community to make important choices about the network's future. Yeah, so we decide. So on Cardano, as it stands now, we decide on how the blockchain should be run now and in future. So that is solely in the hands of community or stakeholders, and that actually makes blockchain governance interesting. Yes, so it maintains trust, preserves decentralization, and ensures collective decisions. Okay. All right. So so like I was saying, we have two main types of on-chain governance. Blockchain governance. So the first is on-chain governance. So here we have the rules and decision-making process coded directly into the blockchain. So, and I was citing an example that if you have participated in the voting process, any of the voting process on Cardano, especially Catalyst voting, that process is done on chain. So that voting process is done directly on the blockchain, the Cardano's blockchain. So how many of you have voted? How many of you have voted? How many of you have voted? Give an emoji if you have voted on the Cardano blockchain. All right. Okay. Yes. So that voting you did is actually on-chain voting. So voting directly on the blockchain. Yes, so that's what we refer to as on-chain governance. On-chain governance. Interacting, making decisions directly on the blockchain is what we refer to as on-chain governance. I know some of you have been hearing it, but then that concept sounded so technical. But today, I'm just trying to demystify it a bit so that we can fully understand what content we interact with on the blockchain ecosystem. All right, then we also have what we call off-chain governance. Off-chain governance. So as the name implies, this means that discussions and decisions occur outside the blockchain, often through forums or social media. So you realize that any other decisions, maybe on maybe you join a blockchain's platform, maybe on X, maybe you join a Cardano community there. On Facebook, you join a Cardano community, or even on IdeaScale, you join in some of the review process. These are done off-chain. So they are done off-chain. Then later they are committed. The most relevant parts are what now exported and imported on-chain. Yeah, so with the off-chain governance, decision making is done outside of the blockchain platform, and so that is through forum discussions or even what social media. Is it clear? Is it clear on the types of governance we have? Yeah, Ima, your hand is up. Emmanuel.
Sorry, I missed it.
All right, okay.
Sorry.
Yes, so let's wrap up. All right. All right, so on-chain governance, a closer look. So we have what? Built-in mechanisms. So for on-chain, so this is typically what goes into what on-chain governance. So we have built-in mechanisms, that is voting systems and proposal submission processes are part of what? The blockchain code. Yes, so let's say Cardano's voting, which I am very sure of right now, is done on chain. So once you vote, it goes directly to the blockchain. Yes, so these mechanisms all are what? Part of the blockchain code. Then we also have what? Automatic implementation. So approved changes can be automatically executed without manual intervention. So another beautiful thing about on-chain governance is that since the code are implemented on the blockchain, there are some triggers that are put in place for the code to execute automatically. So nobody has to come maybe to count ballot papers, to do this, to do that, or to transfer it from one point to the other. This code has already been written on the blockchain, and once one stage has ended, automatically a trigger is what fired for the next process to continue. So that is why we refer to as what? The number 2 point, automatic implementation. Then we also have what? Transparent record. So all governance actions are recorded on the blockchain for full transparency. So every action that is taken on chain, every governance action that is taken on chain is recorded on the blockchain, which is what? Available for everyone to what? See. So there's nothing like somebody is doing anything fishy behind the scenes. All right. So with the off-chain governance, the community aspect, that is discussion forums, and I already spoke about the off-chain. Any other activity taking place outside of the blockchain is what we call off-chain governance. So discussion forums, so community members debate proposals and share ideas. So usually these are done what? Outside. So a typical example is what happens on IdeaScale. Then we also have what? Social media engagement. Social media engagement. So what is being hidden here? Social media engagement. All right, so so broader discussions and informal polling often occur on platforms like Twitter. So maybe Cardano Foundation has tweeted maybe something for community members to interact with, a survey or a poll for community members to vote or make decisions. So these are all off-chain engagements. off-chain governance. Then in-person meetings, so conferences and meetups allow for face-to-face governance discussions. So these are all what off-chain governance process. So once it doesn't automatically commit to the blockchain directly, but is done outside, these are all referred to as what off-chain governance process. All right, so key participants in blockchain governance. So we have these key participants in blockchain governance. So developers actually are key participants in blockchain governance. And what do? They create proposals and implement technical changes to the network. So at a high level, this is the work of what? Developers. Then community members, they discuss proposals and vote on important decisions. And I know with the second one, most of us are familiar with it. You realize the discussion of proposals on Cardano is the reviews. First of all, it's even on the commenting on proposals. So you realize that the proposals that I submitted are sent to the various groups that try and read the proposal, give the a kudos to the proposal, and also go and leave what? A positive comment after reading the proposal. So community is also a key stakeholder. Community members are key stakeholders in blockchain governance. And we also have nodes. So nodes basically can be what? The devices, the computers, the servers that execute decisions and maintain the network's what? Integrity. So they are referred to as what? The nodes. I know you'll be seeing node, even as you read more on blockchain and crypto related content. So nodes simply are the workstations, the devices, the servers, the computers that actually execute these decisions and also maintain the network's what? Integrity. Community participation in governance. So community can participate through voting. Community members cast votes on proposed changes and what? Updates. Yes, so any blockchain that allows community members to vote means that there's really governance mechanisms put in place. Then we also have our discussions. They engage in debates and provide feedback on governance proposals. Then delegation. Some networks allow users to delegate their voting power to what? Representatives. So in Cardano, let me come back to so pay attention to this third point. It says delegation. Some networks allows users to delegate their voting power to representatives, and which is currently implemented or is implemented on Cardano as we speak now. So for 5 ADA, what are the names of people you can delegate to vote or make decisions on your behalf? What are their names? A name given to them. Okay, whose hand am I seeing here? Benjamin. Benalagira, yes?
Yeah, the D-Reps.
The D-Reps. So what's the full meaning of D-Reps?
Delegator representatives.
Great, good. Great. Yeah, so that's correct. So you've won for yourself 5 ADA. Nice. So yes, so these are what? Delegated representatives on the Cardano blockchain. That's the name that is given to them. So you delegate your voting power to them, and they will make decisions on your behalf. They will vote for you. I think Cardano Africa Academy, we must also start a D-Rep. We must register to become a D-Rep and also have our voice heard. Yes, that would be great. All right, so let's continue. So what are some of the challenges in blockchain governance? So we have a lot of challenges, and once we get to know it, then it becomes easy to address it. So challenges in blockchain governance, the number one is what? Low participation. So low participation by members, by people because they really even don't have an idea of what governance is all about. So how do they even participate in the first place? Then also lack of understanding of the governance process, conflict of interest, then centralization, risk. So these challenges can hinder effective decision making and potentially compromise the network's integrity. So for any particular blockchain to have its governance process well utilized, then there must be series of education, series of interaction, series of engagements with community members to make them understand the governance process so that they can fully participate. Once there's understanding, there will definitely be participation. And that is even one of the main reasons why I have to start this governance workshops, so that we get each and every community, our local community members, abreast with the governance process. Because as it stands now, if most of you will bear with me, what a lot of our community members understand about Cardano, once you mention Cardano, is Project Catalyst. If you agree with me, give me a thumbs up. If you agree that what I'm saying is true, give me a thumbs up for that. Exactly. Yes, but then Cardano goes beyond that. It goes far, far beyond Project Catalyst, and there are a whole lot of exciting and interesting opportunities that's going on, and you can only understand this, or you can only leverage on these opportunities if you understand the governance process. All right, so let's wrap up. All right, so addressing low participation. Yeah, so this is what I was able to prepare. So how do we address low participation as the first problem? So first of all, maybe I'm sure offering of incentives for active participation in governance process. Is that not true? Very, very true. When maybe community members are incentivized for participating in governance related activities, then you realize that they will stay and will want to learn more. Then also education, that is providing resources to help users understand the importance of governance. Yes, so education is very important, and that is what I am currently doing right now. So how do we break the barrier of low participation? That would be through constant education and engagement with community members, like we are doing, so that gradually we get to understand the governance process. Then user-friendly tools, develop intuitive interfaces for voting and proposal submissions. Exactly, which like I was saying, the most common governance process we are familiar with is Catalyst. So you realize that for Project Catalyst to keep community members always anxious and anticipating when the next funding round will open up, is incentivizing members with rewards. That is, if you take part as a reviewer and you play your role where you are incentivized, you are paid some, you are rewarded in ADA. If you vote too, you are rewarded in ADA. If you moderate, you are rewarded in ADA as well. So these are all some friendly ways of retaining community members. And you also realize that using idea scale is very easy. It's user friendly. It's straightforward. You don't really have to suffer to locate items. It is very clear and simple. Same applies to the voting process too. when voting. It's using the Catalyst voting app. It's quite straightforward. It's not so technical. All right, and let me see which one is this. Okay, so we can briefly talk about this one. So today is just the introductory. So I just want us to set the fundamental straight, so that when we schedule for another meeting, we would have established the fundamentals, and we can dive more into more detailed concepts. Yes, so overcoming lack of understanding. How do we overcome lack of understanding in governance? So there should be simplified explanations. So that is a breaking down of complex topics into easily digestible content for community members. Yes, which most of you have actually gotten a lot of feedbacks from you that some of the concepts are so difficult to understand. So how do we break it down? How do we break it down so that you can also understand? So this is one of the attempts or measures I am putting in place to see how the governance process can be simplified, the Cardano blockchain can be simplified for each and every one, so that you will be able to understand and follow suit. Yeah, so simplified explanations, regular updates, that is providing frequent, clear communications about governance issues and decisions. Then community education, organize workshops and webinars to increase blockchain literacy among users or among community members. So this is one of the approach I want to use to help us as local African community members to understand the governance process on Cardano, so that we are not left behind. And there's a lot. Let me just make you aware that how many of you have heard about Bitcoin? If you've heard about Bitcoin, just give a thumbs up. And before I share the news, yes. So because of the good governance system on the Cardano blockchain, what do you call it? Because of the good governance system on Cardano's blockchain, you see, it doesn't even want me to. Good. It didn't want to come. I just forgot, but I've remembered it again. Bitcoin, after studying everything about Cardano, realized that they can actually partner with Cardano to do a lot. So some things Bitcoin is not able to do as a blockchain, they want to leverage on Cardano to execute it, so that it will look as if it's Bitcoin in action, but rather Cardano is powering it. So I think during the Cardano summit some few weeks back, there was this collaboration. So now Bitcoin OS is partnering with Cardano blockchain to actually provide use cases for the Bitcoin ecosystem. And do you know what that means? It's going to push liquidity. It's going to push monies from Bitcoin into Cardano. So this is so this should inform you and I that we are in the right ecosystem. We are on the right blockchain. And once we understand it now, because as it stands now, even the Bitcoin maximalists, the Bitcoin investors and enthusiasts will now have to come and learn these fundamentals to be able to go along. So you realize that plenty money is coming to Cardano. And how many of you have even watched the price of Cardano today? It's almost about hitting $1. So, and it's all because of this news, this huge announcements. And I learned even there was news that the founder Charles Hoskinson is likely to be part of the regulatory officers that will be writing policies in the United States to regulate cryptocurrencies, and that is a big win for the Cardano blockchain. So it's good we as Africans get to understand this system once and for all, and also engage accordingly, so that we are never left behind. I know some of you have been 2 years, 3 years in Cardano, and it's good you climb the ladder. Yes, so that is why these training sessions are all being put up for you. All right, so all right, so now let's just look at a brief scenario on governance in action. So on the Ethereum blockchain, so there was what, the DAO hack. Maybe those of you who have read about it, the DAO hack. This, DAO simply means decentralized autonomous organization. That's DAO. So the DAO hack on what? Ethereum blockchain. So the DAO hack, that was a vulnerability in the DAO smart contract, was what? Exploited. Then so what happened? So the community debate, the Ethereum community discussed the potential solutions to this DAO hack that occurred. So there was a decision to what? Hard fork. So hard fork means like to make an upgrade, or in simple terms, to update the system, the blockchain. Yeah. So a hard fork was implemented to reverse the hack's effect. So there was a hard fork that was implemented to reverse the hack effect and the network split. So the fork resulted in Ethereum and Ethereum what? Classic. So most of you have heard about Ethereum Classic. So it was because of this DAO hack, then the community had to discuss to come out with a potential solution. There was a major update or change. That was a hard fork, and now there was a need to split the network. So there is the fork resulted in what? Ethereum and what? Ethereum Classic separation. So those of you who are active on the crypto market, you realize that Ethereum is a crypto on its own. Then Ethereum Classic is also a crypto on its own. So so this split was caused by what? A governance action. Yes. So now we have these two independent cryptocurrencies. All right. So so now back to the audience. Is it clear up to this point? Kindly let me know, so that I'll just wrap up, so that by 5:45 we'll end the lesson, or even before that. Yes. Any?
It's like somebody asked a question in the comment section.
Okay.
Jerry.
Yeah, there's a question. Can I read it?
Okay, yeah. So, so as it stands, there is no incentive for governance participation. Oh, there are a lot of incentives for governance participation. So, Isaac, there are a lot of incentives. So, a common example is what? Project Catalyst. So that is governance process. Reviewing. Reviewing is governance. Because the community's voice is actually heard. So so after reviewing, then you are compensated for your effort through the rewards you earn. And once you vote too, you are rewarded for your effort by being incentivized in either for voting. So these are some few incentives for governance participation. I don't know, is it clear?
Yeah, I think I'm clear.
All right, okay. Yes, Abdulaziz? Your hand is up. Oh, okay. So then we continue and finish up. So the last, maybe the last part, maybe after the presentation, then you can ask. So lessons from the Ethereum hard fork. So importance of what? Quick action. So swift decision making can be crucial in what? Crisis situations. So that is one beautiful thing about what? Governance. Yes. Then community division. So major decisions can lead to ideological splits within what the community. Definitely once there's decision making for everybody to contribute, many people will have varied opinions to a matter, and that in some cases can even cause a split. So taking Ethereum for example, that was what caused a split, and now we have Ethereum and Ethereum Classic. Then governance evolution, the event led to improvements in Ethereum's governance process. Exactly. So once they could arrive at a decision and then call for a split, probably, which was done through voting, that means that there's definitely an improvement in the governance process. All right, so now Cardano Cardano's governance, a new approach. Yes. So what makes Cardano's governance a new approach? Number one is Cardano's governance process is very much decentralized. It's decentralized. So Cardano aims for a truly community-driven governance model, and which is very true, because I've done a lot of research, and you will realize that one of the most decentralized blockchain networks is the Cardano blockchain, where the community's voice is taken so much into consideration. Yes, and this coming December, I think about 126 delegates will be moving to Argentina to finalize the draft constitution of Cardano and get it as now the binding constitution for everyone. So in December, delegates will be going. So I think in Ghana, we have some that will be going. In Kenya, in other places, other countries, DRC, they will all be going to Argentina to finalize the constitution. And we'll actually talk more about the constitution and what is entailed through this masterclass we have just begun. Yes, so take note of that. All right, so aside it being decentralized, it's also self-sustaining. Cardano's governance is self-sustaining. That is, the governance system is designed to support long-term ecosystem growth. Exactly. Then it's also a scientific approach. Cardano's governance is based on peer review research. So the entire Cardano blockchain was built from evidence-based research. That is peer review research. Yes. So that actually gives it an upper hand to so many other blockchains. Yes. So what is Cardano's vision on governance? What is Cardano's vision? Cardano's vision on governance. Cardano's vision on governance, global participation. So, and which is true. So, Cardano wasn't developed in Ghana, but you realize that people are participating on Cardano across the entire world. So there's a global participation, which is one of Cardano's vision and which is actually happening now. So it enables Ether holders worldwide to influence the network's future. So through voting, you can sit in Ghana, vote. Somebody can sit in US and vote on proposals, and at the end of the day, your voices are heard. And you can see the diagram actually depicts it's then transparent. So transparent decision making. So it ensures all governance processes are open and verifiable. So that is why when voting is even done, community reviews are done, you can see whatever that was done by everyone. So that is transparency. Then continuous improvement. So evolve the governance model based on community feedback and research. So once there's global workshop where community feedback is taken into consideration, it's it's thoroughly studied, and those decisions are actually used to improve the network here. So we have key governance bodies in Cardano. So take note of this. We'll be looking at them one by one in subsequent lessons. So these are the key governance bodies in Cardano. So we have number one, the Constitutional Committee. So we have the Constitutional Committee as one, what do you call it? As one of the governance bodies or governance actions on Cardano. So we have what? D-reps, that is delegated representatives. Then the third, we have stake pool operators, that's the SPOs. I know most of you have been hearing SPOs, stake pool operators, but so that is what they do. Then we also have ADA holders. Yeah, so as the fourth. So these are the key governance bodies in Cardano. So we have the Constitutional Committee, we have the D-reps, that is the delegated representatives, we have stake pool operators, we have ADA holders. So these entities work together to ensure fair and effective governance of the Cardano network. So let's hope and pray that once we get to these areas, so some of them, I'll actually get some of the officers up there to make presentations on this. So maybe when we get to the Constitutional Committee and I'm able to invite a member of the Constitutional Committee to come and speak, definitely we'll have the person joining us in the meeting. Same applies to the D-reps. We'll get a D-rep to come and also present. If they are available, then stake pool operators too, that will be possible. Yes, so that we get to understand it much more clearer. Yes, so I think we will end it here on the what do you call it? We'll end it here on the key governance bodies in Cardano. So we get to know who they are, and in subsequent meetings we'll be having, we'll now begin to pick each and every one of them and explain them in detail. All right, so this brings us to the end of the episode 1 of what do you call it? The governance meetups we have started, and this is going to continue. So hopefully, maybe in about a week or 2 weeks' time, I'll update you with another flyer when the next event will take place, so that we keep ourselves engaged and active.